When it comes to assignments, this is generally what we get. Not usually as many red squiggly lines, but this is in Latin, so we're not going to worry about the red squiggly lines for this. Should the red squiggly lines come up in your work when you're writing in English, please do go to the review tab for spelling and grammar before submitting. That is a general note. That's not actually what this tutorial is about. The tutorial is about how to lay out assignments. Generally speaking, if you're asked for something in a report or a document, anything that's not done in a presentation, or that is not some sort of Excel worksheet or program-specific resource that you are creating, there are certain ways that you should lay out your assignment work. So let's take this and make it look like an actual assignment. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some space for a title page and a contents page. So quick key for putting new pages in, which you should all use. No more hitting returns many times. Hold Control on your keyboard and press the Enter key. Once will get you one new page, twice will get you two new pages. Do not forget to let go of the Control key. Right, so here's what is going to be my title page. When you click, it will put you ready to type on the next page. Just use the back arrow on the keyboard to go back to the start. So let's just press Enter a couple of times to put that down. Something really handy to help you see what you're doing are these little paragraph markers here. That is the end of the paragraph. That is a page break, which we put in with Control and Enter. And it does get a bit messy when you get down to here, because it puts little dots in between the words to show where there are spaces. And if you use the Tab key, so if I was to press the Tab key to indent, it puts these little arrows. None of the paragraph markers that you can see on this page will show up in print. So it is quite useful to have them to see. But so that you can see what I'm actually doing, I am now just going to turn these off quickly. Also going to zoom out so we can see a full page. Right, full page. So starting off somewhere around about the middle. Yes, you can press Enter to get to the middle. And this would be the title of the report. And going down to around about the bottom, you're going to want to have your name. Don't just write name, actually write your name. Name, course code, unit number, assignment number, or title, whichever. Assignment number / title. And probably best underneath name is your student number. Also useful but not necessarily required is the tutor name the assignment is for. Don't edit the text down here, leave that as it comes up naturally, but I'm going to make the title of this report into an actual title. So that is now nice and big and bold, and I think I'll just center it over here. If I decide it's not big enough, I might make it a little bit bigger, but I do, when I make it bigger, have to watch out for this dropping onto the next page. Because if I do that, all of a sudden I have two blank pages here, where this has pushed down and put, if I put these back on, the page break onto the next page. So if I delete that again, there's my page break back on this page. This page break here is for the contents page. So just so we remember, I'm just going to put contents in there and put a couple of those. So that is the start of the layout. We're not going to worry about filling anything in the contents page until after the work is complete. So here we go. I've been beavering away. Okay, I've been using lorem ipsum generator, but same difference. And now I have my actual written work. First thing, let's start off with giving this some headings so that we know what we're reading. So this might be our first heading. Right there, we're just going to introduce this first topic. And we might have a subheading here of random Latin, because this is literally random Latin. And that might be the end of task 1, which means that this bit here is task 2. So Control and Enter, just a nice page break in. That way, even if I do have to come back and add something else into here, I can go down from there and it's not going to move the next task from the top. So let's have this one add maybe some Latin phrases. And there are my Latin phrases. I'll probably have a conclusion at the end of this. But one thing that I will do, even if I don't have a conclusion, go Control Enter, get the page break in down to the next page. And this time I want a page called References. Now we are looking for referencing in assignment work, especially at level 3. Level 2, it will be very good if you try it. Level 1, we'll be very impressed if you try it. But level 3, we will definitely be looking for referencing, and even more so in students who are planning on going to university. So I will go through the easy way of referencing with Microsoft Word in a moment, but first let's get our contents page set up. So Lorem Ipsum, this I said was a heading 1. Over on this stars panel there is something called heading 1. Random Latin, that's a subheading, so I might do that as heading 2. Let's set that one to heading 2. And then Latin phrases, that's a main heading, so let's set that one to heading 1. And the references, that can go to heading 1 as well. Now you may notice everything that I have set as a header, firstly, has taken on the style of the header up at the top here, but secondly, is below the contents page. This is because we're going to delete that first line. We're going to go to References and create a table of contents. Anything that is made with headings, so heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, etc., will go into the table of contents. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 1, and heading 1. It will put contents itself in there. If you put it in your table of contents and you find that you need to add to the document, or you've missed a section, or whatever it may be, at the end, before you submit, go to Update Table. You can update the page numbers if you've added content but not added new headings, or you can update the entire table if you've added new headings as well as the page numbers changing. And that is contents page created. You don't need to work out what page it is. You don't need to worry about numbering the pages particularly, although it is helpful if you do. You just have to literally set things as headings and press the table of contents. So that's the heading sorted out. Easy way of referencing. So let's start off. I'm going to put a reference here. Now, there are a number of different ways that universities and publications in general use for referencing. The most common one that I have come across is one I'm going to show you here, which is Harvard referencing. The one that I have seen most often used in universities. Now, based on that, let's have a look at how this is set up. So, anytime you use a reference as a quotation, which is what I'm showing you, you put speech marks to start with. You then get your reference. I'm just going to grab this one. And this is my reference. Control V, paste that in. Okay, maybe not Control V to paste that in. Might just right click and just keep the text. Don't keep any of the formatting. There is my reference there. I'm going to go and just back to the Home tab and center it so that it's laid out quite nicely. Underneath the reference then, I need to put in where I got this from. Now, old-fashioned way is you put a bracket, you type in who wrote it, you type in the year they wrote, you close the bracket, and then you write the entire reference. But nah, long. Let's not do that. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to the References tab, and we're going to insert a citation, adding a new source. So this is a website. You will find all sorts in there. Books, journal articles, periodicals, documents from websites, art, performance, everything. We're sticking with the website though. So this is where I've got the quote from. So let's just scroll down here. In rebus is going down as the author because there's not a person's actual name with it. And I'm just going to copy and paste this in there. Name of the web page. Get that from the top usually. Let's just check the copyright down at the bottom here. Copyright 2007, because we will need that. So remember 2007, and we'll copy this. So name of web page is there. Year 2007. Year accessed 2017. Month accessed 08. 22nd. And the URL, which is at the top, which hopefully everyone knows, gets into there. And then when you click OK, it will give you the bit that you need there, and it will store the rest of the information putting into your references. So let's just get a reference from somewhere else, and let's see what this actually does. So let's not use rebus again. Let's just go back on here, and we'll use this mental floss, assuming it doesn't complain at my ad blocker. I hate web pages that do that. There we go. We'll use whatever this one is. Copy that. That's going to be my quote. So go back to home, and we'll just stick this in the center there. Stitch marks to start it. Control V. Okay, alternatively, actually make sure that you copy the text first. Not get stuck with the block up. Every time, keep the text only is very useful. So there is my quote. Underneath that, I want to put in my citation, add a new source, and this time it's going to get rid of all these adverts. See if I can go down to the bottom here somewhere. Alright, so it doesn't have any information at the bottom, so we go back up to the top. Here we go, Paul Anthony Jones. So let's just copy his name, and we'll plop it in there in capitals, because why not? This should be the only way you copy and paste, by the way. There should be absolutely no copying and pasting used anywhere else. So the year is 2016. Yeah, accessed, we've already done this a little bit already. 2017, 08, 22, and the URL, which is that one there. Click OK, it goes in. It is also possible to reference in line, but this is definitely the easier way to reference, and it doesn't involve you having to reword things and try and put quotes and references in the middle. It is much easier to do it this way because it is much more obvious where the references are. Now, reference page. We could type everything in, but nah, let's not. So we want a bibliography. Probably the first one will do, or the references one, or works site, it doesn't really matter. References. Don't need the references that I put up here because it has actually put one in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double check if I update this table, whether or not it puts it twice. So updating the entire table, there we go, bam, we now have two references. So I can come back down to my reference page, which has been already built and populated for me automatically. Get rid of that. And back up to the top. So I've just changed that again. So our contents table's out of date. Update the table. Sorted. And then, just so we can see what it actually looks like, take the paragraph markers off. So it looks like what we're used to seeing on a page. And there we go. Referenced, everything in your own words, headers used, contents pages, reference page laid out correctly, all using tools that are built into Word. Done.